Let's start with prairie dogs. As you know, we talked here a few weeks ago about enforcements in the county on an individual. He has since then contacted me, hired us to help him get started. We have baited a considerable area. He is still continuing to work on it. I talked to him yesterday. He still wants to continue to hire us to help him the best he can. There is some budget issues he has, but we're going to work around them and with him. If that works for you guys, I would like to just continue as that and not do an enforcement.
Okay, as long as he's starting to comply and,
all other complaints I have in the county are under control at this time. Everybody is working toward the goals we have, so
good.
Pretty pleased. I am in need of ordering another pallet of bait. I'm down to 10 bags. I did call around for bids. I only got one, and it's in front of you on top. Bid A for a pallet at $1.90 a pound, totaling $3,800. I'd like to go ahead and order that if you would allow.
Okay, so you made some phone calls.
Yeah, nobody else turned in a bid.
Okay.
I move we accept the bid of $3,800.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye.
Turning into noxious weed, I'm presenting bids or estimates to replace the garage door on the south end of the Quonset. I advertised for 2 weeks in the paper, called everybody locally that I knew to give everybody a fair shot. I have 2 bids to present to you today. Bid A is everything inclusive. They feel they can get started by January 15th, completed by February 15th. And bid B as well. I was speaking with him and he hoped that he could have it all completed by March 1st.
Do you have a preference?
I within the amount of budget I have left to encumber, I'd like to go with bid A.
Yeah, because you're $2,700 of difference here.
I also did look into that shipping container. I called several contractors. They all told me to go to the main source, the Aspen Leaf. I talked with Gary, and all he has is a 40-footer. And that quote is what it is at $6,400 delivered. I don't feel I can do the door and the container at the same time.
But the door's priority.
I'd like it to be.
How much later would you do the container?
Maybe by June of next year.
Ready for motion?
I'm ready for a motion.
I'll make a motion, we go with bid A for $5,208.31.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, and so we're going to table the container
Goodbye,
business
good.
until you can get a better idea
later
what your
time.
budget is next year.
Yes.
All right, very good. I'm glad we're getting some compliance with, because we'd rather do it this way than start doing enforcement.
Yes.
That's our last resort, so.
And it's sometimes tough when people are actually not here or absentee landowners, but I try my best, and with the great support we have at this table,
Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I think we're doing good. All right, thank you, DJ.
Have a good day.
Okay, Rance. Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good.
How was the trip up?
Very nice.
Slow?
Yeah, well, I wasn't driving.
Oh, well.
It was fine.
Okay, you're aware we issued the health order. I can't remember the date, but
23rd, November 23rd.
we did make a comment in there that we would review our decision at today's meeting, and we was hoping to get some input from you to see if we're, in your opinion, if we're going down the right road, or how do you feel?
I find it very interesting looking at the number of positive cases in the county, that there was never really a peak it's only been kind of just a low level of numbers. Guess you could argue there was a small peak because one week it jumped from 10 to 21, but the week, do you have that? Can I pull that up here? Oh, this is different than,
That was a new one she gave me yesterday, Lila did.
oh, those numbers are much different than what she had sent to me. So it looks like we kind of did peak right around that November 16 to 23rd, and then it's gone down. So, I mean, we instituted the mask on what, the 21st?
Third.
23rd. So I think it looks like we had probably reached our peak and then started to decline, mask or no mask, so.
Well, yeah, we'd like to say positively, well, yeah, the mask helped, but who knows? So,
I think when you look at it all, I think the mask is
I think.
not effective enough to argue that it makes a large difference in the outcomes of when a virus hits, it seems to run its peak, runs its course, regardless of all this intervention that we're trying.
So you don't think we really need the masks in
I
this county?
don't.
No?
I mean, I think individuals could make the choice if they feel like they are in a situation where it would benefit them, but for the government or to legislate something that says you must wear it, I feel that's not necessary.
Well, of course, we always run into problems with state government, and we are under an executive order from the governor, so we have some wiggle room, but not a lot. We made as much allowances as we thought we could, given the guidelines we had at the time. I don't know.
I didn't see a big increase in mask wearing,
Oh,
where I was at anyway.
yeah.
But maybe we did.
You notice it in places.
I mean,
In regards to county health, and Milo apologizes that she's not here, but it would seem that, once the mask mandate was, or the public health order, the public health order was put in place, that, the numbers are decreasing. So, was it a matter of we had already peaked and it was declining, or was it because we had asked, put the public health order in and it was declining? The concern of the EOC is that we've got the holidays coming, and there could be a lot of travel due to Christmas and such. And so we're curious whereby, go ahead and leave as is until like the next meeting, the 31st, and review it again at that time, so that we, keep it on the agenda to be diligent in reviewing the public health order. And if the numbers, still continue to maintain or go down, then it could be revisited like on the 31st. And if the public health order needs to be rescinded at that time, then it could be rescinded at that time. But just the unknown in regards to the travel and family coming in and things of that nature, that's kind of the position of the EOC.
Our students are getting out early this week. So, they're gonna have more people in the households, but less strain on the schools. Who knows what the correct path is, but I don't think we're out of line by maintaining it until the next meeting.
Which, like I said, as long as we keep it on the agenda and are reviewing it regularly and actually taking notice of what is happening in regards to the numbers, I think that's what's appreciated. It's not, this is it and this is the only way it's going to be. No, this is a priority. It's going to be reviewed, and I appreciate the comments of Dr. Lick, because yes, when you look at these numbers on this sheet, it does show that it did spike, and then they are coming down,
Well,
pretty consistently, but then there was another bump in it, so.
I
But we're saying also too, that they're not really hurting anything. They're gonna help some.
It's a matter of slowing it down as opposed, attempting to slow it.
Well, I'd be
is
real
the
curious
whole
to see
goal.
these numbers in 2 weeks if we maintain the policy that we have now. Gentlemen,
I think we stay with it till the next meeting anyway.
Roger,
It's all right.
let's do that. It's 2 weeks. Let's see what the numbers show in 2 weeks. If it's a fair judge of what's actually happening, and of course, that's always questionable to some. I mean, I've had a lot of good support since we've done this. I've heard very few complaints. But really, it's an individual's thing. All we're saying is if you're going to be this close, please wear it. If you're going to be any further away than that, don't worry about it. Go on about your business.
Yeah.
Is it inconvenience? Sure, I hate it too, but I'm doing it.
But I've noticed too, like in the community, there are a lot of plexiglass barriers that
Yeah,
are going up, and that's
yeah.
a part of it too. As long as you have that, you don't have to mask. It's all about the social distancing.
Well, there's no way that we can say, yeah, these masks are making a huge difference. We have no way to prove that. And I doubt if we're ever going to have a way to prove that. But we're not seeing huge increases.
I don't envy you guys at all.
Well,
I know this is
If
tough.
you just keep it in mind that it's nothing more than an inconvenience. It's not a prison sentence.
Yeah. And I know that was hard decisions to make and to get to this point and to reverse it too early and then feel
regret
like
it.
we had to re-implement something would
Yeah.
be worse than.
We'd like to get through this without any regrets. Are we going to? No. But we'd like to avoid as many pitfalls as we can.
Yeah.
And this seems like one to me, potentially. So I think we'll table the issue until the 31st meeting.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, and especially, Doctor, thank you.
Thank Mila for this because this is pretty helpful.
Well, yeah, this is the first time we've seen actual numbers, really.
All righty. I'll pass that along to her then.
Okay.
All righty.
All right.
guys.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You all too.
Amanda?
Just have a couple of things here. The annual contract with RNS Digital for our GIS mapping
Yep.
needs to be renewed. It states there in the letter that the price hasn't changed in 8 years, so I think we're getting a,
They do a good job.
yeah.
I've worked with these guys for a long time.
Yeah.
They do a good job.
Need a motion on that?
Yes.
I'll move that we accept, that it's not a bid, is it? It's just
Just an invoice.
Renewal.
Yeah, yep.
renew
It's
the
renewal. Contract, I suppose.
contract with RNS Digital Services for $7,200.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor? Aye.
Okay, and then the second thing is, this is through our CIC software. They have, it's called a personal property portal, whereby those personal property worksheets that people come in and sign every year, they can actually do it online. It used to be a lot more expensive, and the enhancement committee paid for the software, so we just have to pay for the hardware. So it's $1,700, and then there's an annual, on the back, I think there's an annual service amount of $715, is it?
715, yeah.
And so that would have to be paid yearly. I'd have it in my budget, and talking with CIC, this would be implemented for 2021, so that 715 wouldn't come out till 2022. So I'd have room to adjust it I have enough in my budget, but obviously I can plan for it. It would be another year out.
So it'll cost us $750, not
No.
17.
It'll be 17 first to implement it, and then every year after is 715, which I would have in my budget.
And the enhancement committee, who's that?
It's like,
Yearly, they have a convention or whatever, and everybody,
and like,
the whole state. whoever
you pay
gets
into it, you pay dues into it, and then they decide what would be the best fit to enhance
Oh,
the software.
cool.
And yeah,
Wow.
because it saved us $2,000 by them going ahead and paying that fee for any of the counties that use CIC. They just paid it up front, so.
If it's something everybody will use, it's usually free or close to it. If it's just one county, it's expensive.
Yeah,
Okay, so we also need to make a motion on this.
for the 1,700, because it's,
Okay. Okay, do you hear a motion to go ahead and approve the $1,700 to CIC Computer Information Concepts for online personal property redemptions?
Motion, make that motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
the last thing, there is a small chance that I could get some CARES funding for some software that would help us COVID-wise eliminate paper, eliminate shuffling paper around, be able to work remote. Slim chance, I don't know. Kelly said she would let me know for sure tomorrow, but there is an annual fee on that one of $1,700, I think, that I would have to get approved if I would by chance get funded.
Well, then can we table this till the 31st meeting, till you can find out your information, or you need this now?
I guess I would need it contingent if I would get approved, that we would approve, because this would be yearly after it would be set up. And the CARES funding has to be spent by the 30th of December, so I would have to
Okay.
know that if I would get approved, there's a big if, but
Okay.
if I'd get approved, that you would approve the
But if you
17.
don't approve, do you have the 1750?
If I do get approved, I would have the 1750, yeah. And if I don't get approved, then that's a moot point.
This will come out of the CARES Act, you said?
If I would be
But
funded.
there's a yearly subscription.
There's a yearly subscription of $1,750, so
And that eliminates most of the paperwork and what have you?
it would eliminate a lot of paperwork. Like I said, it would allow us to where we could download, because all of our stuff is internet-based, where we could download onto a tablet, onto a laptop. If, heaven forbid, we got shut down or had to work remotely, we wouldn't be required to have internet. There'd be less paperwork, so there wouldn't be shuffling between the employees in the office of who's, multiple people handling the paperwork. It would be on one device that could be solely to that person, to where we're not transferring stuff around just to help stop the spread. And
I have no clue what you're doing.
But looking for a motion to go ahead and approve 1,700.
I don't know if we need a motion because it's not approved, but I would get the other. It's
I
contingent.
mean, you have to get the
Okay, yeah.
excuse me, you have to first make it to the Spark Committee. Mm-hmm. And then
But
this would be.
them
put
knowing
into
that I would
place.
have be okay in funding to do the yearly.
So either way, we're giving her permission to spend this 1,750, whether it's out of CARES Act or her budget.
No, this
No.
is a yearly subscription. that will
So we'd,
come out
yeah,
for-
we would have to pay the
If she gets
$1,750
approved.
if I get approved for the CARES.
The yearly subscription is $1,700. Plus you're gonna be another $700 for the other subscription. I guess you gotta make that decision, because I don't know what
Yeah, no.
I'm sorry.
Like I
Well, it's
said,
premature right now, because it hasn't been approved for her to get this funding. She's giving you a heads up that if I do get approved, I'm coming back and getting a motion so that I can
it's over the
go
1,500,
ahead.
so I
and-
would need your
But I need to
approval.
know that I can go ahead and pursue this, because if you're adamantly opposed to it, I need to know now. How's that?
I don't know how to be adamant.
You can't oppose something you don't understand.
So I guess I'm relying on you to make the
Okay.
decision. If you really think you need it and you will use it,
Yes, we would
then
absolutely
then
use
it's-
it.
I'm supporting it.
Okay, perfect.
Same here.
All right, that's all I had.
All right,
All right,
thank you.
thanks, guys. Have a Merry Christmas.
Sheriff, I think we're ready for you.
Okay. I think since I'm talking about an unknown person, we haven't hired yet, we can do an executive session, right?
Well, right, I mean, you're just, it's not a known,
Yeah.
right.
So I just wanted to make sure we didn't talk out of
Yeah, no,
line.
you're fine.
So, okay. With our previous conversation about wages, I'm getting ready to start looking at hiring another deputy. As you know, 2 of our deputies have left in the last month or so. Looking around, comparatively to other counties, we are paying about anywhere between $3.50 an hour to $1.50 an hour lower than anybody else is paying at starting deputy wage. And I've got to try to recruit, to fill that position. And I feel I'm kind of in a bad position trying to recruit because these other agencies are hiring at the same time. So I wanted to come in and talk today about addressing the starting deputy wage, moving that up. In the past, we have paid $14.40 an hour until they're certified, and then we give them a raise after they get certified. I guess
Well, here's always the problem when you do that. If you have entry-level people coming in at an equal to, or in some cases even greater than
Yes.
your existing employees,
Yes.
that's where your problem
And
starts.
that's something I've considered when I thought about where to put this and how to put this. And I've talked to my staff so they understand what my thoughts is, what my plan would be if you guys approve my plan, and how we would address that internally in the office.
Well, here's what we kind of envisioned. Are we opposed to this? No, not at all. But to do it fairly, you're going to have to bump up your entire pay scales.
Yes, and that's, I'm starting here at point A and going to point B here in a minute.
Okay.
So I'm just starting with the most critical, the problem that's in front of us right now. I'm starting with that and then moving to point B. My plan is during our employee evaluations, the employees that currently work for me were given a raise. Okay. That gives us, when we come into budget time, to budget for 2022, I guess what I'm saying is we've got the employees we have in a point where we have retention and we satisfy the immediate need with them. And then we could talk about pay scales when we do budgets of 2022.
So you're mainly just looking at changing the pay scale for your entry-level deputy.
So I could
remaining
advertise.
everybody the same for the time being,
Time being,
but when it's time for budget,
then we're going to look at the whole pay scale as a whole.
I think I agree with that.
Because we gave the existing employees a raise
Yes,
a couple weeks ago when we had our meeting.
yes.
So I think that satisfies that immediate need. Now this is our immediate need, and then we'll take care of long-term needs at the budget meeting.
Just so there's not hurt feelings and,
No, I think satisfying that immediate need at the wage agreement meeting took care of that. I think without that, we would be in that position, but we took care of that. So, and I'm not asking for a dramatic, I'm not asking to compete with $18 an hour. I'm asking just to move it up $1 an hour on the entry level.
And you've talked to your employees
Yeah. Yes.
already, so
Yeah, so,
they're good with it?
yeah, it does present a position where, there might be even though somebody says, oh, that's okay, in the back of their mind, they're like, oh, I had to work for $14.40 an hour. But still, but they understand the need, and they understand why we need to do this. So
They're not forgotten. We'll just catch up with them.
yeah, so I would like to, the unknown person, which we're receiving applications now, we haven't even gone through them to decide who we're going to interview or what yet. But I would like to move our beginning deputy wage up $1 an hour. I
And
think
that's uncertified.
that's uncertified to go through the academy. Because, other counties are paying anywhere between $16 to $18 an hour for an uncertified person to start. I shouldn't say other counties, other agencies, including other counties.
Well, it's a highly competitive market.
It is. And I'm just wanting to go up $1 an hour for right now to try to get better recruitment. And when we do the whole pay scale thing in June, we can address it. But for right now, as I advertise and answer the phone and, hey, how much you guys paying, I'd like to go up another $1 an hour from the $14.40, or $1.10 actually, because I want to go to $15.50.
Still think that's pretty cheap.
That's still pretty cheap. I would ask for more, but I didn't know if you guys would say yes.
Well, I don't want to get out of hand here.
Yeah, exactly. But
Take it out of your paycheck.
yeah, so
What
but
you willing to share?
I just think we could getting that extra $1 an hour would make us. It doesn't make us equal to other places, but it makes us
A little more
a
appealing.
little bit more appealing, a little bit more competitive with other places. We have other things that we could use for recruitment as well beyond that, but I think that there's a stopgap for right now that will really help, and then we could address the whole pay scale. Instead of doing it per employee like we did at the wage agreement, we could just do the whole pay scale and make sure it fits in the 2022 budget. That's one of my biggest concerns is we move wages around, I still got to stay within my budget. And I think that's why the bigger picture needs to be resolved at a budget meeting and a budget hearing in June so that we can make sure our budget is going to stay.
I think that's correct.
So,
I'm in favor
Yeah.
of increasing the wage
But
to
have
attract.
traction on that.
Yeah, we're just having a discussion here.
I mean, because you're already losing your employees as it is.
yeah.
So we have to do something. on
Yeah.
Well, you're going to have to maintain competitiveness, or you're just going to be lost. You're going to be down to a 2 to 3 man department before you know it.
You're probably gonna have to raise your budget
Yeah.
next year.
Yeah. And that's, again, I'm trying
Because
to,
that's not under the tax lid, is it?
no. And that's why I'm trying to get numbers. When I said, I'd sure like to pay them more than $15.50, but I've also got to look at my budget and say, what can I actually afford to give them? I mean, it'd be great if we can give our employees, whatever, but we've got to stay within the budget best we can. So I think if we do $1, it moves us up to being a little bit more competitive. It doesn't sound as horrible as $14.40, but yet it still lets me stay in the budget, hopefully. So,
I know we need to raise it because people need money. But is our benefits better than some counties?
not in the field that I'm competing in, which is other law enforcement agencies. And the majority of them, well, they're all governmental agencies, and the majority of them are offering the same type of plan that
same
we
type
have.
of plans.
Capers, a lot of them are Blue Cross Blue Shields. There might be a little bit of variable in deductibles, but, pretty much the same thing with how much it would cost them or not cost them out of their paycheck for their insurance, so.
Yeah, I'm for moving it up. Do I hear a motion to go ahead and increase that beginning deputy salary?
I'll make a motion to increase it by $1.
Whatever you need.
Yeah, $1.10, yeah, make it $15.50.
$1.10 you said?
Yeah, to make it an even $15.50 an hour.
$1.10 an hour.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I don't
Okay.
have anything else for you guys, unless you have something for me.
Can we have 5 minutes of executive session for non-elected personnel?
Yes.
You need a motion or you got the motion?
Yeah.
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. Jeez, I'm getting confused now.
Well, I don't know if you made a
Oh,
motion.
hell, I didn't know I did either. 5.
It sounded to me like a command. Didn't it?
Yeah.
This is off for us, the meeting, the storage, so.